Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Now, we are going to focus on the new chapter, which is chapter 6, Chemical Equilibrium. For chapter 6, we have 3 subtopics. The first one, we have dynamic equilibrium in subtopic 6.1, and then we have 6.2, equilibrium constant, and 6.3 will focus on Le Chatelier principle. But for now, we are going to focus on chapter 6.1. What is dynamic equilibrium? Let's start. Okay, so 6.1, dynamic equilibrium. So we are going to look at the introduction about chemical equilibrium. Equilibrium. What is equilibrium? Okay, so this is the answer. So equilibrium is a state in which there are no observable change as time goes by. Maksudnya dekat sini, bila sesuatu reaction dah mencapai tahap keseimbangan, equilibrium tu sebenarnya adalah keseimbangan. Okay, so tidak ada perubahan kepada concentration reactant or product tersebut. Alright, so dia dah mencapai equilibrium state. Okay, so the concentration of reactant and product remain constant over time, and there are no visible change in the system. No more change. So dia dah constant. So this is the equilibrium. Okay. So the type of equilibrium ada dua. The first one, physical equilibrium. The second one, chemical equilibrium. For this subtopic, we are going to focus on chemical equilibrium. Before that, the things that you need to know is reversible reaction. So before this, you only learn about only one step of reaction sahaja yang melibatkan forward reaction sahaja. But now, you are going to learn this subtopic and the equation should be in both direction like this. Okay, for example, you have here N2O4 gas produce 2NO2 gas. So look at the arrow here. So arrow yang kita guna dekat sini adalah reversible arrow, di mana reactant boleh produce jadi product and the product boleh come back become a reactant. See? So this is what we call as reversible reaction. Okay, what is dynamic equilibrium? Okay, so dynamic equilibrium ada karakteristik yang dia tersendiri. So ada dua karakteristik that you need to know. Alright, so the first characteristic is chemical equilibrium achieved when the rate of forward and reverse reaction are equal. And number two, the concentration of reactant and product remain constant. So this is karakteristik of dynamic equilibrium. So bila sesuatu reaction tu dah mencapai dynamic equilibrium, rate of forward and reverse akan sama. Okay, maksudnya produk reactant jadi produk jadi reactant, rate of reaction dia sama. Kemudian concentration of reactant dan product juga akan tidak berubah, akan remain constant. Okay, boleh faham kat sini? Now, we look at the graph concentration against time. So, kita akan lihat dekat mana berlakunya dynamic equilibrium. For example, we have this balancing equation. 1 mole N2O4 gas produce 2 mole NO2 gas. So, ni saya dah siap balance. Okay. So, the first thing that you need to know, okay, So this is we call as forward reaction, means from this reactant N2O4 become 2NO2 gas. So kita panggil sebagai forward reaction. Okay, ini yang biasa awak buat. Okay, from left to right, dia adalah forward reaction. If the reaction occur from right to left, we call as reverse reaction. Okay, so this yang kita panggil sebagai reversible reaction. Okay, so macam mana kita nak apply dalam graph? Alright, so dia boleh jadi 3 case kelas. The first case, if we start your reaction with NO2. Okay, di mana NO2 adalah produk kita tadi. So, dia akan pergi kepada N2O4. So, dia akan berlaku reverse reaction. So, from product become a reactant again. So, itu dipanggil reverse reaction. Okay, so this is your graph. Okay, so why the curve of NO2 decrease and the curve of N2O4 increase? Okay, benda simple. Before this, we know that kalau dia bermula atau dia akan jadi reactant atau dia mula dulu, dia mesti berkurang. While benda yang terhasil tu mestilah bertambah. So dalam case kat sini, 2NO2 kita adalah produk just now, kan? Kalau from left to right. Okay? Tapi sekarang ni dia kembali menjadi reactant semula. So bermakna concentration NO2 akan berkurang dan concentration N2O4 akan bertambah. So awak kena faham reaction ni. Okay, so dia dalam case ni dia berlaku reverse reaction. Okay, but look at the curve of NO2. Dia pengurangan dia lebih banyak berbanding pertambahan N2O4. Kenapa? Okay, 2 NO2 mol, 2 mol kat sini, kan? Okay, bermaksud dia akan berkurang 2 kali ganda, di mana N2O4 akan bertambah concentration dia sebanyak 1 kali ganda. So, number of mole in your balancing equation juga memainkan peranan dekat sini. Okay, so you need to be careful. Okay, at one time, pada satu ketika, the concentration for both reactant and product remain constant. Look here. So, the concentration NO2 and N2O4 remain constant at one time. So, this is what we call as equilibrium. Okay, ini yang kita maksudkan equilibrium. Okay, di mana tadi karakteristik dia adalah rate of forward reaction equal to rate of reverse reaction, while the concentration of reactant and product remain unchanged at equilibrium. So, ni yang you all boleh lihat dekat sini. Okay, we look at the second case. If we start our reaction with N2O4. Okay, so daripada left dia akan pergi kepada right. Okay, so ini yang dipanggil sebagai forward reaction. Okay, ini forward reaction ni adalah reaction yang biasa berlaku apabila you buat chemical equation. Okay, so kalau dia bermula dengan N2O4, bermaksud N2O4 akan berkurang and NO2 akan bertambah. Okay, so if you plot the graph concentration against time, so look here. The concentration of N2O4 decrease one time, but the concentration NO2 increase 2 times, double. Alright? But at one time, okay, pada satu ketika, at a time, okay, the concentration for both reactant and product remain unchanged. Okay, means the rate of forward and the rate of reverse reaction equal here. Okay, and the third case, you can start your reaction with both reactant and product. So how to predict which one will decrease in concentration and which one will increase in concentration? So actually for the case number 3, it must depend on our experimental data. Ini susah nak predict lah. Okay, so Ini contoh graf dia. So nak tahu kena buat eksperimen lah. Jarang lah kita lukis curve atau graf yang ketiga. Biasanya kita akan lukis case pertama or case yang kedua. Okay, boleh? Okay, that's all for 6.1. Thank you guys. See you in 6.2.